Welcome back to the Mid-Year Mitch YouTube channel. In today's episode, I fit and weld the quarter panel on the 67 Camaro, so be sure to stick around. So before I get the quarter panel welded on, I need to get this gutter installed. So I need to clean all the metal around here, get some fresh metal, cover that in weld through primer, do the same to the drip rail, and I need to drill holes so I can plug weld. And I roughly know where this needs to fit because of the front, but in the back, there's a lot of wiggle back here. So I need to get this roughly mocked in here with some clamps, get the quarter panel on here, and then I'll let the quarter panel tell me where the drip rail goes. Before I started mocking up the drip rail, I wanted to try to make this quarter fit the taillight panel as best as I could. The gap here wasn't the greatest. It still needs a little bit of work, but I got it closer and I got this body line fairly close. This thing had some prior repairs, as you guys know, so this metal has been damaged and stretched and bent. After I got the passenger gutter installed, my dad finished scuffing and prepping the roof, and he shot on some epoxy primer under everything that's going to get covered up here. So that way we have some good protection on the metal, and he's got the floor pretty well prepped. Needs a little bit more work, but he's going to work on getting everything in epoxy to keep everything from rusting and to trap, so we don't trap any moisture in here between our layers. He also did the underside of the quarter panel, so now I just have a couple little areas to figure out. I need to get this pillar in here welded. I need to work on the back of the wheelhouse, figure out where the trunk needs to live. I have a couple little damaged spots to fix, clean some rust up. So I patched up this little corner underneath the quarter panel, and I'm doing a final fit on the quarter. I tack welded the hinge in place because I'm pretty happy with the fit up. Now the gap is a little wide on this side compared to the driver's side. It almost looks like the quarter panel is tipped in, or this edge isn't as sharp. But either way, it's a little bit short. And then this car had some prior crash damage, as you guys know. So this radius here is all messed up. So I'm gonna have to put a slice in here because there's some extra material, and we have to form this down so it blends in with this. And you can also see there's a little bit of a gap in here, which this was just filled in with mud whenever they did the car the last time when they put a quarter on it. So what I'm gonna do is take this rod and build this edge up where it needs to. Use your imagination. But I need to weld this rod to the car, and it's bent over here, so it's fairly strong, so I should be be able to get this rod on fairly easily. I'll fill it through here. I may have to put a little patch in here because this little jagged edge. Fill this in. I want this quarter to fit nice and tight right in here. So I got the quarter panel back on, and this gap turned out really nice. There's just a little high spot here, and then actually a crack opened up here, so I have to manipulate that a little bit. It may need another little pie cut in here, but this is getting really close. I'm happy with the fit, and the trunk lid fits somewhat. It fits pretty good up here, but I think the trunk lid just needs adjusted a little bit more. I need to fill this hole and massage in here, get this gap fixed up, fill that hole, and then I can start putting my weld through primer on here, drilling holes, because overall this thing fits really nice. It's just good to take your time to make sure everything fits before you jump into anything. I do need to put a little bit of radius in the bottom of this so this quarter panel can clear whenever that goes on, but overall everything's looking good, and now I need to blow everything apart, weld up a couple areas, and then we can get ready to weld this thing on. I have the quarter panel about 90% welded on the Camaro. I welded all the way across the top, down the side, underneath through here. I had to lay in the car facing this way to get here. I had to climb inside the trunk to get the front side of this flange, which was fun. You can see the trunk gap looks pretty good. I can still adjust the trunk over a little bit to center it, and I may have to add a little bit onto the edge. Put a couple tacks in there, got this welded. I have to weld this edge. You can see the other side is brazed, but I'll weld this edge and make this flow in here real nice. This is a nice gap. I have a lot of grinding to do here and underneath. Welded it all the way across the bottom side. Welded it all the way around here. I need to hammer and dolly this flange, and I need to trim a little bit of the excess. Interesting enough that this lip here is almost a 1/4 inch shorter on the quarter than the original quarter panel on the other side. So I may add a little bit to that, or just kind of blend all this in just to make it flow and look right. But I have a lot of grinding to do under here. The door jamb, I need to put some spot welds in here just to supplement my plug welds. Again, do more grinding. I have to put the brace in still. I left that open, and down in here was fun to weld because my auto darkening helmet would not darken because I was covering all the sensors up. So I had to use the one that came with my welder and just set it in here and kind of jam my torch in there to get some welds on the bottom side, because I couldn't just fill along that seam. And you can see now that I'm done, I have a nice gap. It's a little bit wider than the passenger side, or the driver's side rather, but it's a nice uniform gap, so I'm happy with that. The window should fit really nice. The door gap is pretty good. We just need to roll the door just a little bit more, but overall it is fairly uniform. A little bit tight at the bottom, we'll have to address that, but it's all very workable. Just needs a lot of finish work. So in the next video you'll see I'll jump onto the roof skin. Oh, and I do need to spot weld this area. I just put some tacks right here just to hold it in place. I figured I'll leave it loose until I get the roof skin on. I need to make some modifications to my Harbor Freight spot welder. The tips will hit the roof skin or the gutter, so I need to put some reliefs in there to give it some clearance so I can actually weld that. But I'll do that whenever I go and do the roof. So that'll be in the video after this. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I have a lot of work to do on the Camaro, but a lot of the hard work is done. The quarter panel is now on, and it's on to the roof skin, which hopefully that doesn't take too long. That should be in next week's video. And then I just have a couple little patches here and there, and the major metal work on the Camaro will be wrapped up. So I got a lot of work to do, and I'll catch you guys later.